Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and today I thought we'd talk about hidden signs that a man is unhappy in life. Women are known to be more of the ones that feel more comfortable like talking to their friends. Maybe they don't necessarily always open up to their partner, but they'll open up to their friends or their family and they express their dissatisfactions in life. But men, a lot of the times, they'll suppress it and bury it deep inside, and they won't express to anyone how they are feeling. They don't express these vulnerabilities. They're always taught to man up or just deal with stuff and don't talk about or complain. Complaining's for women or for babies. Don't cry, just man up. So they just suppress a lot of things, and what happens when you suppress things, it causes into great sadness. And we can't just suppress things. I always talk about it has to come out in other ways. And so certain behaviors or the way that they talk or act will change, and you will see that. So because they don't express what they're saying, here are some signs that you want to look out for. And usually there's a bunch of signs. It's not, if you do a couple of these things, it doesn't mean that, or if you see someone, a man in your life, do a couple of these things, it doesn't mean that he's unhappy. It has to be like a bunch of these things to see like, oh, all of this adds up to show that he seems pretty unhappy. So if you're a man and you're watching this, maybe you'll be able to relate. If you're a woman who's watching this, you can maybe see a man in your life if he has some of these signs. So one of the first things is that you will notice that he is more irritable. He may appear more moody or more angry or more sensitive to things in general. Small things that normally wouldn't bother him trigger him now. This heightened sensitivity can be a sign of a deeper unexpressed unhappiness. And if you do bring up that he seems kind of irritable, he will just pass it off and just be like, or dismiss it and just be like, nah, I'm just playing around. Or maybe he'll say he's tired, or maybe he'll just blow up and then avoid talking to people because of it, which goes into the next sign, which he withdraws socially. So you may notice that he passes on hanging out with people more often. He just wants to stay alone and by himself more often. He doesn't go out as often, or if he does go out, he goes home earlier than usual. You may notice that he prefers to be alone and be by himself, and he'll isolate himself, and that most likely will be because he just doesn't feel like socializing, because he feels so low and it takes energy to have to be around other people, or he just doesn't find the enjoyment of being around other people anymore. The next thing is he may be sleeping more or sleeping less. So you may notice that he seems way more exhausted, and like either he like is always being like, oh yeah, no, I slept like for 12 hours, or I've been sleeping so much. Or you may notice that he'll talk about like, oh yeah, no, I only got a few hours of sleep. Maybe he's been tossing or turning. You'll just know there's a big change in behavior when it comes to his sleep, of sleeping more or lack of sleep. And that can be, he's up all night just thinking constantly about the things that are making him miserable and how he can't change anything. Or he's going into more of a depressive state where he just wants to escape from the world, and so his body's kind of going into hibernation of trying to avoid things. A big change in sleeping patterns usually means there's some type of emotional distress, and the body is going into a freeze response. The next is, you'll notice he's lost in thought. So you'll notice maybe he's not so much engaged in conversations as much as he has been in the past. He stays quiet more often. He's not as present as he used to be. You can see in his eyes that he just seems like he's not really here anymore. It's hard to really engage in a conversation, and it just seems like maybe the light has dimmed a little bit from his eyes. And he seems very distracted, and that really could be because he just doesn't feel like things are fun anymore, and he doesn't want to be in these types of dynamics, or he's just really stuck in his mind where he just is thinking about so much that's going on, or he's having a lot of negative thoughts that are intrusive and he's ruminating on them. You also may notice an emotional detachment where he seems emotionally distant from conversation. He may avoid deeper conversations, or he shows a lack of interest in deeper conversations. The next is neglecting health. So you'll notice that maybe he's eating more, or he's eating less, or he's not going to the gym, he's not taking care of his physical appearance as much as he used to. He's showing a lack of care for himself. And when someone has a lack of care for themselves, it shows that they lack the love for themselves, and they are struggling with unworthiness, when they're struggling, or motivation, or they just generally don't care about themselves anymore because there's so much negativity that's going on inside their mind and in their life. The next is he overcompensates with humor. So, you know, a lot of comedians, you may notice, they're really sad. They don't talk about this, but they use humor to deal with the demons they have inside of them, the tough things that they're dealing with. And they are so funny because they're overcompensating for the darkness that they feel inside of them. And so that can happen with other men, is when they feel like there's a lot of darkness inside of them, they'll try to overly compensate by making other people laugh. And it's another way to feel better about themselves because they're struggling with such inner demons. So you'll notice that, like, someone that's obviously going through things, like, he'll crack a lot of jokes, but in reality he's like hurting inside and he's really struggling, but he can't admit, hey, I'm struggling. Instead, everything is a joke, and he doesn't take things seriously. And it's to the point where it's a lot. And it's like, hey man, are you okay? Like, any person would probably have a hard time with this. Like, it's okay to not be okay, and like, they'll just dismiss it and pass it off and just make more jokes and just like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, maybe even make you feel stupid for thinking that they are having a hard time. It's really because they can't deal with whatever's going on. It hurts too much, so they need to go on the opposite end. And instead of feeling pain, they want to deal with laughter, and they want to feel that laughter and make other people laugh. The next one is they are really critical of themselves, and it may not be that obvious. It may be they say little signs, or they don't take compliments very well. Like, they're just like, oh, you're just saying that, or like, no, that's not true, I really suck at X, Y, and Z. And just, you notice they're maybe even a lot more negative than usual towards themselves. Some people, it will come out slowly and passively of the negative things they truly feel about themselves in different conversations. Especially if you try to praise them or say something positive about them, they'll immediately dismiss it, or just be like, now you probably say that to everybody, or they'll just make it seem like they are not that positive thing, or they will talk down about themselves, like, oh, you know, I really suck at this and I should have done better. And they use a lot of shameful language, so you'll notice that they may experience a lot of shame and guilt, and they talk about themselves in a shameful way where they feel ashamed of themselves, and they feel bad and disappointed in themselves, and they feel like a failure, and you can see it in their speech. The next is they stop planning for the future. So they may be of someone who is like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to travel, I want to do, you know, I want to go and get this thing, I want to go see this movie. Like, they'll constantly be talking about, in the past they may have been someone that constantly talked about things they want to do, and now they don't really make plans as much, or they don't talk about how they want to move forward, or the things they want to do in their business, or they don't talk about the different things that matter to them. They don't talk about their passions as much anymore, is because they don't look forward to things, and they just feel really unhappy and dissatisfied with their lives. And so they may not see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they don't really care about the things that they used to care about. But that's a pretty obvious sign of depression. But this isn't to say that they necessarily have depression, they're just feeling unhappy. They may be, but we don't know that. And the last one is they drink a lot. And I'm not talking about just like socially, like maybe they'll have a beer or two. Like, no, they're drinking. They're like kind of pouring on the drinks, or pouring on the drinks. They're pouring the drinks, and they're drinking them. And they may not reveal this, but they're also probably drinking at home. And so this isn't just a matter of, oh, they're an addict. It's a matter of they're starting an unhealthy habit because they're dealing with some stuff inside of them, and they don't have healthy coping mechanisms, so they're trying to numb themselves. And it doesn't even have to be just alcohol. It also could be substances or other things. It's pretty normal in social settings to have a drink or two, but if you notice someone heavy on the drinks, constantly wanting to party, that's showing signs that they may be using it as a way to cope with whatever's going on, and there's something deeper happening. So if you have a man in your life that's showing a bunch of these signs, definitely just take him aside and ask if he's okay or if he needs anything, and hopefully he'll open up. If he doesn't, just be persistent and say, listen, I'm here for you if you need anything. Like, I'm right here. And there's nothing wrong with, like, you don't want to be annoying and be like, tell me what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. No, he doesn't want to talk about it, and that's okay. Just say, listen, I'm here. And just check up on him. Be like, hey, what's going on? How's everything been? Like I said, I'm here for you if you need anything. And then maybe one day he will open up, because you opened that doorway of letting him know that you're here if he needs anything. It can be hard as a man. Well, I mean, it's hard in general as humans to open up to other people and to be vulnerable and to admit things are wrong or something's going on. So if you just let him know that you're here and ask if he needs any help, or even just say, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy if you need it, or talking to somebody, there's nothing wrong with that, then that could really do wonders for this person. You don't even know how it could affect them. So if you are a man that's struggling and you notice you have some of these signs, seek help, reach out to somebody, get your mental health right. And the people that are around you love you and they want to see you okay. So don't be afraid to reach out. There's nothing wrong. You're a human. There's nothing wrong with admitting that things are going on and you need a little bit of help. We all need help. We're humans. No one's perfect. We're here to learn our lessons. There's a lesson in every struggle. So what do you guys think? Leave it all in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Oh God, I did squats and I am regretting it. Oh God. Tell me why I have syrup in my hair and I didn't even eat syrup.